Tottenham won, Sporting won, another Champions League draw. Delane, how are you?
Good, bro. How are we?
Oh yeah, bit deflated to be honest. After this morning was a bit
Yes.
disappointing in all aspects. We can go on to different aspects of the game, but it comes down to the fact that the performance wasn't good enough overall. We'll get into the VAR decision, and we'll get into the actual team itself. But overall, it was a poor day, a poor game yet again.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, I could agree on that. I think we just didn't live up to the hype that we should have in this game. Like we didn't come out of the sheds firing. After our result against them at home, especially us being at home, we should at least done a bit better in the game. We should have done a lot better.
Yeah, I'm not too. I think people can tell that I'm a bit deflated today. It's been a roller coaster of a day for me because I'm kind of like thinking back, rewatching the game throughout the day because obviously it kicked off at 6 a.m. for us here in Australia. So full day of work, but being able to watch back when I've got time. We just weren't good enough overall, and we only really started putting the game on the edge in the last 20 minutes. We were very, very lucky to not concede a lot of the times. Sporting did very, very well yet again on the counter. Marcus Edwards, I'm telling you, not many people knew about him, but I knew about him, back when Poch was here. Very promising. He was one of the most promising young English players that were out of England at that point. Everyone thought he was going to stardom, but his ego was a problem, and he went on a couple of loans, and they said the same thing. But I give credit where it's due. He's gone away. He's bettered himself as a player, and he's starting in the Champions League for Sporting. And that solo run is something that we need in our team. And I turn around and look at Levy and go, "Do you have a buyback clause?" Because he's the type of player that we need, and someone who's willing to take the ball, take it in his stride. And I will say that Romero needs to look at himself tonight. The usual Romero would come out and shut that down straight away, but this Romero kept backing up, and Edwards just abused the situation that he was in. They could have scored more. They were all over us at certain points. Hugo did pull off some good saves. He didn't make any mistakes today for me. Could do nothing for the goal. It was he was out. It was a great, perfectly placed. Apart from that, he didn't do anything stupid at the back. But
yeah, look, it was really tough to watch this game, especially like the first half we played shocking. Like we just had nothing going for us. Sporting just put all the pressure on us, and just that goal from Marcus Edwards was just right on target, and there was no way Hugo was saving that. So yeah, look, I give credit as well. Like I think, for a short player like him, like what is he like 5?
He'd be like 5'8", 5'9", I'm pretty sure.
He looks like a 5'7", 5'6". Like
he is a bigger. I'm pretty. He is small. But he plays. He doesn't play as like a target man like Kane does. Like they don't put balls in the air because they know he doesn't need it, so they play to feet. And his rapidness, agility, his dribbling, he utilizes that, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
we don't have any players. There's one player we'll get on to talk about because that came on later in the game. I think we all know who we're going to talk about, and questions need to be asked if and when he gets to start. But on that first half, it was at one point it looked like we were playing on a back four, and that Davies.
I think I heard the commentator say that. I heard the commentator say that. But they were playing a back four, but I don't know if it was.
We played just as bad as we do every week, and that's the problem now. Is a question needs to be asked, and I'm gonna ask it. Everyone kept saying at the start of the season, the first 5 or 6 games, we're playing bad, but we're getting results. When we come on song, we gotta destroy teams.
Yeah,
I'm at the question now is maybe we're not out of form. Maybe this is just the way. This is us in form. This is how we're going to play for the rest of the year. And if we play like this, we ain't making top 4. Now, I do believe we'll still make it. I do. I honestly think Arsenal got to fall off after their result against PSV. They could have lost 5-0 this morning. I do think we'll make top 4, but that first half is just we've seen that every game this year.
Yeah, it's every game we've gone into, we played to, say for instance, we played to like 10 minutes. We just we do everything right. We get up the field, we try and put pressure on them. So excuse me, but then it's a 90-minute game. You can't just do it for the first 20 minutes or 15 minutes and then back off. You got to play for 90 minutes. And it comes a time where do we actually think we are a 90-minute team? Like, we've seen...
We're not even a half 45-minute team. We don't even play a good half.
Exactly. Like, there's not one game out of it all that we can say, oh, yeah, look, we punched them or we destroyed them. It's like every game we've watched, 15 minutes, we're on song, and then we just fall apart. It's just like... It's really hard to watch.
It was just luckily that we played half hour decently against... who did we play last game? Fucking...
was it... blah, 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 blah. Jesus Christ. Newcastle,
yeah. We played... Sorry, if I had a mind blank. We played a decent half an hour, and then once they scored, we were deflated. But Conte must have said something at half time, though.
He must have.
Because we came out looking better.
It's like as soon as they go on goal or someone scores, we just shut off. We just go, we're done. Why? Why aren't we picking ourselves back up and go, look, we're still in this game. Just one goal down. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep pushing them into the corner, pushing them. But it's like we just shut off. This is like we're deflated. We just go into a shell and we can't get out of it. And it's really frustrating to watch because you go off like I know we keep going back to last season, but it's just like last season we were like we had better players.
Positions.
Exactly. And like I just think going back to that City game, we're playing them. This is like, where's all this gone? Like, where's all that passion gone? When we played City away, this is like we just and now.
You know why? And I'm going to say it now. And I know, and this is what was said last year as well. And we noticed it when us and Arsenal were both battling for 4th, and every time we got into the 4th position, we bottle it. And then as soon as we're out of top 4, we played well again. We can't handle pressure. We can't handle the pressure of being undefeated, and then we eventually lost. Now we're guaranteed, like everyone's saying, guaranteed top 4. Now our team isn't hungry, isn't fighting for the win because they think, to me, it looks like some players think we're going to make top 4. Doesn't matter how bad we play now. And that was like last year where Arsenal would get 4th. They'd do 3 wins in a row. They beat United. They beat West Ham. They beat us, or Chelsea or something. They went 3 games where they should have lost all 3, and they won all 3. And we're like, fuck, they're going to get 4th. As soon as they got to a point where we can stay 4th now. All we have to do is win this next game. They lost. Oh, we have to win this game and we'll get 4th. They lost. And I feel like that's with us. We don't have the mentality yet of a team that needs to dig deep. Now, we have shown glimpses of it at the start of the season where we have dug deep and we have kind of pulled off wins or pulled off draws where we usually would lose. But I think that's still the mentality that we have. And then moving on to the second half, Conte must have done something because we did come out a bit more fire in our belly. The first 5 minutes, 7 minutes, Newcastle, Sporting were still having the flow that they had. But as soon as you got past that 10-15, we started growing into the game more. And then when we started bringing on the subs, I don't remember who was the first subs.
I think that was Ryan Sessegnon and Lucas Moura were the first ones.
No, Lucas Moura started, bro.
Also, not Lucas Moura. Hill. Was it Hill that came on?
No, I don't think he had much. I think he came on later. Let me have a look. It's been a long day, so I can't even remember who fucking came on and came off.
Yeah. I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean.
Where do we have it? Doesn't even tell me.
I'm pretty sure it was Ryan. I know it was Ryan for Perisic. That's all I know. That's as far as I know who came on.
No, Perisic started.
So
I don't have the subs here. I don't know how. Oh,
no,
here
I
we
got
go.
mine. Yeah.
The first one was Doherty for Hill. And we're going to talk about Hill at the end because I want to have a decent segment on him. And then Mora came off for Royal, and Davies came off for Langley, and Cess didn't come on because we had him teed up to come on, and then Conte decided not to because we started playing well. So I'll give props again. Benson Core, one of the only players that performed. Great header. I can't believe they even looked at a foul on the goalkeeper. He literally leapt like he was playing in the NBA. He launched and he beat the goalkeeper, and that's so hard to do. Have you seen that famous photo of when Ronaldo's at Juventus and he jumps like 2.5 meters in the air and it's just still in the air as the ball comes and he heads it in? He nearly jumped that high. I'm not saying it was as good, but the way he out jumped the goalkeeper, an outstretched goalkeeper who I've got to say Adan had a fucking. He had a
tremendous game.
He kept them in that game towards the end because we could have buried 5 or 6 goals. He had a great game. He was man of the match.
We had so many shots on target, man. It was just ridiculous.
Which I hate it because the goalkeepers seem to turn up against us. But Benton Core, how important is this guy?
He's very important to us. Like he's proven. Yeah, look, I think the Newcastle game he didn't really shine. I think he kind of had one of those games, But every other game I'm seeing him come on, man. Seeing him play. He's probably been our best player of the season. Oh, hands down, best player of the season. Hands down.
Yeah, I would have given it to Kulu after the first 6. I thought before he got injured, I thought Kulu was our best player, even though he hasn't scored. He was playing very well. But yeah, I've got to give it to Bentancur. Was our Højbjerg. I think Højbjerg was rushed back. I don't know why we didn't start Skip or Basuma. No, we didn't. We should have started one of them because Højbjerg didn't look like he was ready to come back.
No.
And same with Romero. Romero made that mistake because he didn't look 100%. And I don't know why we rushed him. We have players to back up. We had Sanchez. We have Skip. We have Basuma. We have Langley. We have fucking Tanganga. We have these players. Why not utilize them? Why always play your starting 11 every game? I know it's a must win, but you've got to start trusting other players. Otherwise, when these players are out for months,
we're going to trust, especially with the World Cup coming up as well. So you got to start trusting them. So Bentancur has been a real good signing. I think he's been one of our best players this season. That header he done looked fantastic. It put us back in the game, and that's when our momentum went up because when Bentancur scored, that's when we started putting pressure on them, and it was good to see. It was really good to see.
It's about time we saw some attacking football where the
exactly.
And this player right here, and I look. Everyone loves Mora. We all have this affection to Mora because of Ajax. He hasn't been good enough ever since Ajax. He can't dribble. He trips over his feet. He plays better centrally. Funny enough, Mourinho found that out. When you play centrally, Mora does a lot because he's agile.
He didn't play too bad. I wouldn't give him that. He didn't play too bad.
He played okay, but there's one player that everyone keeps saying, "Oh, he's too lightweight." Oh, no, he's a Spanish.
No.
Brian Hill, people. Every time he's come on, all he's ever done is ball to feet. Yes, sometimes he looks like he trips over his own feet and he's rushing. The amount of balls he whipped in, he's playing inverted, by the way. He whipped in about 4 or 5 crosses consistently, and a few of them, all it took was someone throw themselves at it. He was relentless on the ball. He was running at players. He wanted the ball. He was hungry. Give me the ball. I'll fucking take the game. And that's like, as much as I love Son wasn't coming back going, give me the fucking ball. I'll take this game. He was done more in his half an hour cameo, 25-minute cameo than Son and Kane did the whole game.
Exactly. Like for me, I think Conte really needs to look at him and go, look, I got to play.
I'd start him at Bournemouth. I wouldn't start him. I'd start him.
100%, bro. I agree with you. I think he should start. I think he should start him in as much as I want. Look, it's really hard to switch.
I wouldn't even mind if you played him in 2 centrally, right? Because he's hungry.
So,
he isn't a finished product yet. But the thing is, the only way he's going to mature and get better is if he starts playing games. There's no point sticking him in training going until you do it in training. Hey, this kid will do it in training. Conte's mentioned it. It's like with Spence. These guys need the game time and the experience in the Prem against top players week in, week out to develop. It comes to a point in someone's career where they have to have the experience, and that's when young players go out 100%. On loan. Harry Kane did it in the championship. Like, you look at Saliba at Arsenal. He went to France and did it, right? But we need that flair now. So why not just blood him in the team? Why not just go, you know what? This isn't working. And I wouldn't mind if you have Son, Kane, and Hill, because when Kulu plays, Son gets a bit more freedom because people are like, oh, fuck, Kulu's on the left, like, or on the right. We got to make sure we fucking mark him. We know what he can do. With Hill, if we're feeding down the right and Hill's just bombing on, and for me, if you're playing Hill, you play Spence, because the way he can cut in, his pace, agility, and then you have Spence flying down the wing, Hill will find him, and we could have a really good attacking combo on that right.
Exactly, I agree with you, bro. I think Hill should be looked at, because I think we got a star on our hands. This guy, if you watch his last games, he has been absolute a weapon coming off.
He's been the best player every time he comes on. He's been the most. I don't know, he's coming on late, 5-minute cameos, but he's the only player that's
it was just
like
5 minutes,
ready to go.
He's always up and running, pressure on, and this guy does not stop running. As you said before, the balls he was whipping in, like, all someone had to do was just get on the end of those, and there was a goal. I reckon you should start him against Bournemouth, no doubt. I think he's proven. He's proven.
I don't think he's proven, but why not? Like, what we're doing now isn't working. We don't have anyone that's going to carry the ball apart from Kulu. So the only other player in the team that seems to want to carry the ball and run is Hill. Now, Son, I will give to Son at the start. He was trying to. He did it against Newcastle too. He was trying to run with the ball, but I just don't think the system suits Son. Son needs balls in behind the box where he's got a bit of space. He can use his step overs, his pace. It was so congested, their defense, because there's only him and Kane up at most of the time, or him, Kane, and Kulu. And then the space gets so congested that he can't find it. And it sucks because he's such a good player, but every player, like Kane's the only player I can say, as like any front player, that would go, all right, Kane, doesn't matter what team Kane plays in, he will be effective. He can pass, he can position, he can get on the end of balls, he can score. He's smart, right? He doesn't have pace. Son is better off getting in behind the defense, and he has a great shot. He's not really good at touch and go. He's not really good at dribbling and then putting in a exquisite pass like an Eriksen. So Son needs to be utilised differently. For me, I'd be playing Son off Kane's shoulder, and I don't know. I think we should go to a back four right now. I think we just go back four and let Kane, Son, Hill, whoever up front take over. But back to Hill. He needs to definitely be considered for Bournemouth, and I'd start him. He looks like the only one that wants to do anything in the game.
He does. He does. Like, he's just so. It's just the way he goes about it and the way he comes on. It's like he's just got this energy. He just wants to drive. He just wants to push the team on. He's like, look, we're down one. I'll try to get us back into it. And no one else is speaking up. No one else is going, oh. He's the only one trying to do something. And it's for himself, like, that's proven. So, but I think he should start. I got no doubt. I think he should start against Bournemouth.
I don't think he will. He won't. Mora will start.
We've said so many times. We know what the starting lineup's going to be.
Well, I was a bit surprised. Doherty started. I didn't think Doherty would. Perisic did start. I didn't expect Mora to start. I thought we'd go with a midfield three.
Which
Bournemouth are gonna try and outplay us, I think, because they're very they're not playing very well, but I just think Bournemouth are like, well, Tottenham, if we press them, they're fucked. So I think they're going to come and try and come at us, and we may end up destroying Bournemouth even if we play two up front and we don't play Hill, or Hill comes in later, because their team's just not as good as teams like Arsenal, like United, like Chelsea, like Newcastle even. They're not defensively as good as those teams. But
Yeah.
Dyer. I want to mention Dyer. Now, the guy tried to bury a goal against his ex team, like Marcus Edwards did to us. He should have scored 3 headers.
Yeah, 3
One of those headers
chances.
where he literally all he had to do, he tried to flick it, but all he had to do was just get something on it and it was in. I'll give it to him. Yeah, he tried, but the quality's not there.
Yes, again, it's just like there was some. He had look. I'll give him props. He did try. He was in positions where he could have got a shot off or he could have got a goal, and it's unfortunate that this didn't happen. But in saying that, I think he didn't play bad. It wasn't his like the Newcastle game was probably his worst performance. Against Lisbon, it wasn't really that bad. He did step up, which I'm glad he did because he got a tune out of most of us. The way he played against Newcastle, it was just really bad. But for him to show up against his old team, Lisbon, and can't pull a performance like that, I can't give him too much negative. I think it's more positive. Like he was in open space. He had a couple of chances, didn't go his way, but I think it's really really hard because I think he should have buried that. I think he should have buried those goals.
He should have buried at least one of those chances he had.
Yeah, one of those chances, even two of them. Like two of them were like right there in front of him.
And now we go to the big elephant in the room, the one thing that everyone's talking about, and I wanted to get your opinion. Were we robbed?
I feel like going back on that replay and such, I think we were because if you watch it properly, it comes off the defender. And now Harry Kane is still onside if it comes off a defender, for what I read. Now, for the VAR to get involved in that, which they do, I think we were robbed. Like you see the expressions on Conte's face, like even the players, they looked at him and said, how is that offside? How is he offside? To be honest, when I thought Perisic with that ball and I see Emerson jump for it, I thought he was the one who was offside. Now, if he was offside, fair call, because then Emerson should have known better. But then they were saying Kane was offside, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it was very confusing because
it was confusing.
When I was watching, the commentator said that they were looking at if Emerson was offside from the header, and then when they called it offside after. And the thing is, I'll start with the VAR itself, right? I understand the system. You know, in Australia, we have rugby league with our video refs. It's a lot more prevalent, and it has been for years. Video ref. And the one thing these refs do, and if anybody's Australian here, we all know that the referee's been dog shit for years in the NRL. Especially the video ref, it's just some of the calls, the rules change week to week.
Yeah.
But what they do right and the thing is, rugby league, you got to realize, right? In rugby league, it's a matter of a blade of grass when it comes to people being out for tries and stuff. But they have 4 or 5 angles at all times, and I'll say it now: the coverage that the Premier League has, that even the Championship teams have in those stadiums, the amount of cameras, the amount of eyes are on the game at all times to see anything. I don't know. The VAR is amateur, the way they run it. You look at tennis, they can predict and they can depict where a tennis ball lands, if it's in or out, within 5-10 seconds of a challenge being made. And in the NRL, as I go back to the NRL, they have 4 or 5 angles and they check every angle. They look at one angle here. Oh, we can't see. Let's look at the other angle. And I did see a photo today where someone did like a bird's eye view angle and a defender's foot was in line with Kane's foot. Yeah. And to me, if you're going to pull it off for millimeters, when is it that the offside rule is? It's always been benefiting defenders now, right?
Yeah.
It should always be. It shouldn't be a matter of millimeters. It should be a matter of, because the thing is, a minute, like half a second later, Harry Kane's onside. Half a second later, he's offside. So what are we going to start doing it? Like, there's no way you can depict exactly when the ball's been touched by a foot or released off the foot to when to where Kane is in the position. And I couldn't understand the call to a point where I don't understand how they called Kane off, because even looking at from the angle that they showed it, he wasn't off. But then when you see the photo where the round of foot, you can't see that in the angle that they used.
You can't see the defender's foot.
Well, no, you can see Kane, like when in the angle where it's diagonal on front.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it like you're coming from like the corner. You're facing the goal, but you're in like the diagonal 45 degree. That's the angle they used. But if you look at the actual flat angle of like in front of them that someone's caught, or I don't know what camera's caught, you can draw a line exactly with the 18-yard box parallel, and they're both in line at the exact same time. So for me, that would be onside. If that angle wasn't used in the video ref, or if they did set an angle and they decided to call it, then it's corrupt. For me, it's corruption. We were robbed. However, I understand the ruling because the defender didn't play at the ball because he couldn't react. Emerson headed it down straight to him. There's no, like, he didn't actually play at it. You know how they do in NRL?
Yeah.
If you kicks the ball and it hits you, but you got your back turned, it's not six again or anything like that because it wasn't played at. I understand that. And I understand that regardless of the trajectory of the ball, that Kane could have been offside when the ball was played by Emerson. But the fact that they didn't look at all angles, and the fact that the VAR in every league in football doesn't go to any other video ref in any other sport, and takes what they have. The biggest sport in the world, and our VAR and our refs are shocking. And I know there was this thing going around that the ref and the VAR guy was the same guys that fucked us over against Liverpool in the Champions League final. And I'm not going to use that as like, oh, they've got a thing against Tottenham, because, at the end of the day, it's probably not, right? But for me, I don't think we were robbed, because we should never have been in that position.
No, you're right on that. I think. Look,
we're thinking about it, looking at all the information, nearly 12 to 14 hours later. Yes, there's an argument to say that maybe we were robbed. However, we should never have been in that position. We should have beat them. The team played like shit again. Conte won't. I think the UEFA have already said that Conte is allowed to sit on the sideline, but he's not allowed to do any instructions. He's not allowed to go in the technical box. So, I mean, he'll be giving instructions to his coaching staff, Ryan Mason, and that anyway. So it'll be like he's there. He's not allowed to go in the change rooms, but I'm sure they'll dial him in on FaceTime or something like that. They'll get work around it. There's workarounds. It's disgraceful that he got it, because when a manager's allowed to speak up, when a manager's allowed to defend their teams without them refs getting butthurt, like seriously, it's you know what, the one sport that I respect the refs the most, and they get the most respect because they are good refs, is union.
Yeah.
The only referees in the world that know their sport inside and out. They have fair and justified calls, and every player shows them respect. I've not seen one player show disrespect. Well, I don't watch Union that often, but every time I've watched it, no disrespect whatsoever. Rugby league is getting a little bit, but football is fucking. Every player seems to think that the ref's their bitch, and I'm not defending the refs here, but like,
I think the refs have to look.
If a manager's losing his shit because he literally just cost them a win, be smart about it. Yeah, he's disrespecting the ref to an extent, right? But you got to understand he's passionate. There's some refs that will just go, you know what? I understand you're passionate. I'll give you a yellow because you fucking call me a cunt or whatever. I'm not going to send you off because it just makes it's just going to create more drama for no reason.
I just don't think Conte should have got a red card for that. Like, there was no need for it. Like, okay, look, Conte probably blew up. He probably said, "Oh, fucking, you're disgracing the game," or whatever. I don't know what he said. But it was the end of the game. The ref called it. Like, if a manager's gonna blow up like that, like, it's the end of the game. I don't know why he pulled out a red card. Like, there was, I understand that part. Like, it should have been yellow, fine. Yellow, that's fine, but not a red. Like, that's just way too much.
Oh, the thing is, it's all Tottenham people going to be talking about now. Oh, we were robbed, we should have won, and it's all I see all day today, photos. And it's at the end of the day, we shouldn't have been in that position. The team wasn't good enough, and
Sporting just played
the thing,
us
the only
stupid.
good thing is that if we get 1 point away at Marseille, we're through, regardless of what happens
Do you
at
know what this
Portugal.
reminds me of? This reminds me of the last time we were in the Champions League and we lost to Barcelona, and we had to. So we had Barcelona, Inter Milan. Who else do we have? We had someone else in our
I'm
group.
pretty. I can't remember, but I know it was a team that like everyone beat.
Yeah, and then we were in the same. This is kind of the same position where we have to wait for the next game
To
to get the
qualify.
result to qualify to get to the knockout stages. So we're kind of in the same position now, and it's just like we shouldn't be in this position. Sporting, Frankfurt, and Marseille. They're the most.
And the thing is,
They
we're
should
going
be.
to the most.
That's the easiest group out of them all. If we
Yeah,
were
we're
like
going
a
to the most
Bayern
hostile
or
stadium in the fucking in Europe. Like South France, Marseille is a hard stadium to go to. It's hostile. The fans are passionate. Like they get banned wherever they go. These guys, so it's going to be
Hugo
hard
would
to
know
win.
that. Hugo would know that too.
It's
So
going to be
he's
hard to win, and it wouldn't surprise me if we lost. To be honest, like I think we'll still win. I know it sounds crazy looking back at our last 3 or 4 games, but I just have this thing where it's like we're going to go total Spursy and fucking win like 4-0 away, and then pull it out of our socks and then get fucking raped in the next round. That'll be what happens. We go to Marseille, we put up a good performance, pump ourselves up, then we come back after fucking January, get into our next game, into the last 32, and then we just get absolutely pummeled by one of the big boys, and then that's it. We're done.
look. If we do make it, I'm just hoping we have a go like a fucking. Well, basically, all the teams that are going out to the knockout stages, they're not easy. They're not
No,
easy at
well,
all.
no team is in the Champions League, and it's proven it. We thought we had the easiest group, and we've struggled. I mean, we're not
Exactly.
playing well, but like I said at the start, maybe this is just the way this is the quality that we have right now. And I'm hearing rumors of the club saying they're going to they're going to back Conte in January. And like I said in the last video, I want to see Conte come out and say he's staying, but I also understand why he isn't saying that, because if he says that, Levy's going to go, oh well, it doesn't matter if I don't give him anything because he's already said he's staying. So it's kind of like a cat and mouse where we've got to decide who's going to do what. But that game this morning was disgraceful for 75 minutes. And the only positives I can take is that Hill has put a little spanner in the works of maybe starting or having a bigger role.
Yeah.
And Romero and Højbjerg both need to be rested. They're not 100%, and we need them because we need them at Marseille. We need them 100% because that's going to be hostile. We need that. We need an on-song Højbjerg and Romero. Otherwise, we're going to get dominated, especially with the way that Marseille play. They play a 4-3-3, and they played like we were lucky to beat them. Two Richarlison headers, and I'm not even sure if we've got Richarlison back yet or Kula. I'm pretty sure Kula's not back until after the World Cup now. But we will mention a little bit about Bournemouth. We're doing a watch along at 1 a.m. Sunday morning Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I think it's going to be 3 in the Arvo in England. We'll be doing a bit of a preview, match preview, and lineup prediction stuff beforehand. But we have to win at Bournemouth. It's a no-brainer.
It's a must
for me.
win.
If we
it's a must win.
And Chelsea, United, Liverpool, City all win. Like even with Liverpool are catching up now, even though they lost. They're still not that far behind us, and we really need to start winning a couple more games to ensure that we don't get caught or we don't fall down the pack. So I think we will pull off a win, but we just have to win at Bournemouth. There's no if, buts, or maybes. It's a must win this weekend.
It's a must win this weekend. The boys need to get over this loss against Sporting.
Draw wasn't a loss, but it feels like a loss.
It feels like a loss. Sorry. They just need to go over this draw / lost. They just need to get over it. Go back onto the drawing board. Just get at it, train hard, and just go to Bournemouth and just get us a result, so then we can take that. So how we play or what we play, take that momentum to Marseille and turn up for that game. Because so I think it's a must win. It has to be a must win. If we don't win, I'll be really, really disappointed. especially against a lower league team like Bournemouth, who just come off from Championship. I'll be really disappointed.
Yeah, well, they're in the bottom three, so they're not playing well. But we played bottom three. We played bottom of the table Leicester, and they absolutely dominated us in the first half. So
Yeah,
it's it's going to be hard, but I think I've alluded to this in a video in the past couple of weeks. It's for me now. It's we're in the position that I expected us to be or predicted us to be at the start of the season, and I think we're gonna be in the top four or fifth, around the top four. We're going to be a couple of points in it or around it by January, and I'm not panicking. It's frustrating. I'm getting frustrated with the performances and the way we're playing and the teams that we're playing against, the quality, and we have better quality on paper, and we're just not performing. At the end of Jan is when I'm going to sit there and go, "Yep, we're going to make top four," and that. I
think
really hope.
I think January defines us. That defines whether Conte does what he does, or Levy backs him, and we do something in January.
What I want to see is the day after, the day before the World Cup starts. I want to hear Paratici's on the phone calling this player, calling that player, fucking ringing this club, that club. I want to see deals done 1st of Jan. Get him in as early as possible. None of this fucking waiting. Get the players, identify the players. I'd bring back Kyle Walker-Peters if I'd be honest. 25 mil, give him fucking Romero. I give him Royal. Well, you take Royal.
You know what?
Give us fucking Walker-Peters back.
You know what? You're speaking about right wing back. I'll go get a Doji. I'll bring him offline and bring him back to us. Well, he's not. He literally got signed back.
I don't know if we can because of the contract. It might be an obligated year loan. That's the only way we could buy him. But even then, like a Doji,
I've seen some of his work, and he's actually a decent.
Yeah, he's a decent left back. He was tipped. I saw this thing where it was overall scouted ratings from every team. From like, I know this sounds ridiculous, but some of those players on that list have really shown up. And it was the 2019 Under-17s World Cup.
Yeah.
And there's a few players on there like Pedri, Udoji, what's his name? A couple of guys from PSV. Like these players were all tipped to be future stars in the Under-17s, and they're starting to. And Udoji's playing really well for Udinese at the moment. He's starting for them, and he's only 18, 19. I mean, Cesc needs to pull his finger out because I like Cesc. I really want Cesc to pull it off, but I just don't think he's going to. I just don't think he has the. He just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it as a top level left wing back. So if the Doji comes in next year and starts, then I'm not going to be upset if Cesc goes, or we're going to have to replace Perisic anyway.
Exactly.
But I want to touch on some things before we go because I'm going to wrap it up soon. If you're watching on YouTube or you come from Facebook on YouTube, let us know in the comments if there's any more content you want us to cover. So I'm thinking of some ideas of some transfers over, the transfer news. Maybe we start bringing on some fans for reviews or some fan cams and stuff. If you guys are interested in that, leave a comment. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit us up on our link tree of all our socials. Even if you want to do it privately, go to totalozspurs@gmail.com. Send us an email. We'll always respond. I have it on my phone. We're here to make content for you guys, but we're happy to bring you guys in if you want to be more involved in terms of interactions with us and stuff. Appreciate if you
come on and have a say. If you guys want to talk about something, come on. We'll be able to help you discuss.
It'd be nice to do some fan ring-ins as well. Get your opinions on if you want to. If you've never felt comfortable talking out, I myself hate social gatherings. I hate social speaking. But this here for me, it comes naturally. I don't feel as nervous. So if you want to just talk to a bunch of blokes about the team that you love, make sure you're letting us know, and we'll make sure we can make it happen. But on that note, bro, have you got anything else to add before we wrap this up?
Look, I think we just got to be. I think we just gotta be patient as Spurs fans. Like, yeah, we're all frustrated. We're all like saying, "Oh, Conte is not doing well for us." You know, get him out and all that. Look, I just think we just gotta be patient. We just gotta wait till January, see what happens, and we just, we just gotta keep our heads held high. I think we just take it game by game, and just we just got we just gotta make sure we just believe in what he's doing right now for us is probably the best. So as much as you guys probably out there going, oh, but his football's not what we want to do. Like, look, it's these players are gonna try and make it work for themselves. Like, there's probably some players in this team that don't fit this system, and there's players in here who do. So I just think we just gotta be a bit more patient and let Conte do what he does, and that's all we're gonna do.
No, you're
That's
not wrong,
what
bro. You're not
we just
wrong.
gotta be patient.
On that note, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, hitting that bell for notifications. We'll be back probably about 12:30 to 12:15 in the morning, Sunday. Tottenham versus Bournemouth away. The boys are going to be there. I'm going to be there. Hopefully, we get the win. And as we always say here at Total Spurs, because it's the only thing that we can do as a Tottenham, as a club, as a fan base. It's all we can do is stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, boys. Peace.